to join our last unit of the course on law, ethics, and corporate social responsibilities. Okay, we have had 5 courses on this subject, and I'm sure that most of you will have a clear idea about what corporate social responsibility means. So this last unit will be for us to do the reflection together and to see what else we may be able to learn from this course and also from ourselves. Okay, so our last unit will concentrate on the topic that I put it as what is law to do with corporate social responsibility. Okay, so first part, we first talk about the CSR from ethics to law. How does CSR developed itself from basic ethical considerations to legal regulations? Okay, so nowadays everybody is talking about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Why? Because human being is facing challenges in the environmental and social realities. And how can we address the economic development to benefit the greatest number of people faced with challenges? And how can we make growth and development sustainable? These are the questions that we have to answer. Okay? So practical and effective developmental approaches will become necessary if we have to answer these questions. And it requires the commitments of all local and international organizations, governments, associations, companies, as well as the citizens. It means that everybody has to be involved, okay? And ethical commitments counts too much on business managers, and the enforceable law has gradually become essential, which means that now the managers of companies, they find it more and more important to have some ethical considerations, because to respond to the social needs and the social requirements, they have to be ethical, from time to time when they're making decisions, okay? And so gradually, when everybody has this consensus of putting some ethical considerations in running the company, and then they have a consensus to make enforceable laws, okay? Because it will benefit all, to give everybody, commonly agreed enforceable regulations, okay, to bind themselves and also to bind their employees and their stakeholders, all right? And so back to what we have said in the beginning of this course, okay? When you start a business, what is in your mind will be profits, 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 and profits only, okay? And when you think it too much, you might become the evil of profits. You think nothing but profits, and then you may be stepping on the interests of people. So on the other hand, business ethics developed, okay, to balance this thinking about profits, 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 and profits only, all right? So whenever the managers or, the headquarters, they are discussing about how they would develop their business, and there are always 2 ideas, there are profits, 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 in their minds, to draw them into, some kind of maybe not very good practice of business. But on the other hand, the business ethics, they would be coming out for discussion and even written for the headquarters, for the managers, to think about, okay? So with the balance of profits and business ethics, they developed some kinds of, concrete corporate social responsibilities for us to follow, okay? So maybe the first groups that they emphasize will be environmental management, will be eco-efficiency, will be responsible sourcing, as we have talked about before, okay? And after they are able to do this, then they may move on to do labor standards and conditions, employee and community relations, all right? So this is to raise, the self-esteem of the business, okay? And after they are confident enough that they are in the field of CSR, then maybe they would follow to develop more social equity, more gender balance, and then more human rights in general, okay? And so in the end, every company, they will come together to talk about how to manage their stakeholders' interests properly, and then they can develop good governance over the business, okay? And finally, they are so much determined in anti-corruption measures, okay? So these are the developments, okay, of the CSRs to balance between the profits and business ethics, all right? So basically, when we talk about CSR, it's for the sustainability of the whole business, okay? So from moral to legal, it's like CSR from yesterday to today, okay? And so when we see the development of CSR, we can observe that it has developed from voluntary decisions at the level of individual organizations. And the reason why they developed that is to contribute to a brand's reputation, okay? But after that, they think that only voluntary decisions are not enough. So they moved to mandatory schemes at regional, national, and international level for environmental protection and also for social welfare, okay? And so the implementation of CSR, that goes with regulatory requirements and engages in actions that appear to further ethical considerations and social good beyond the interests of the firm and its requirements by law, okay? So now everybody is trying to use law, okay, to regulate CSR. And when they are regulating this CSR, especially when it becomes enforceable, sometimes the interests of the firm will be put under, not priority, but, being balanced by the CSR. However, everybody would think that in the end, it would raise up the public fame of the business, and then it would help, the customers to believe in this company, so which would be beneficial to the company in the end, okay? That's why everybody is willing to do the CSR, although sometimes they have to balance the best interests of the firm, all right? So do you remember that we told you about the CSR in real practice? We showed you some models, including like the Body Shop, Apple, the Canon, Microsoft, Walmart, Starbucks, Samsung, and then the Coca-Cola, okay? So everybody knows that we can be very, very careful with, these businesses when we read their CSR reports, because all companies, they have different emphasis on what they are working on. But when they are doing their CSR report, one thing is very important, and that's transparent, okay? So every company now, when they are working on CSR, on the one hand, they have to connect their considerations to the global sustainability ideas, okay? So on the other hand, they have to tell the public both the good side and the bad side of the company, okay? So that they can get the trust from the company, all right? So you must be reminded that what we've talked about, the common grounds to win the best CSR reputation, okay? Including 4 of them. I don't know how many you have remembered. This is the 3rd time we talk about this, okay? So we would just briefly recall, what we have learned, okay? So these 4 common grounds will be number 1, the men's self-esteem, okay? So these companies, in order to maintain their self-esteem, okay? So they have their own choice of how to do it. Some of them produce very endurable watches. Some of them claim a very important anti-animal test policy, okay? And some of them will promote certain kind of human rights, including equality or not to use underage labor, etc. Okay, so this is number 1. Number 2 will be to support the community, okay? Especially, when a multinational enter a community, people there, especially the small farmer there, they would always be worried that maybe their business will be taken over by these multinationals. And that's why these multinationals, they always try to work together with these local farmers to help them to develop and to develop together, for the best of the community, okay, to support the community to develop on their own. And then third, they always defend for human rights, okay, including maybe the life, the property, the freedom, the equality, or even they are anti-abuse, anti-exploitation, or anti-violence, okay. Then finally, I think every business, they have the same goal, to protect the planet, okay? So they always try to find their source of production environmentally friendly, and then they put the 3R standard, the recycle, reuse, reduce, as their principle of conducting business, okay? And so most of them are now using the green energy, okay? So these are the 4 common grounds, okay, for the business to win the best CSR reputation, right? So this is what we have to talk to you for the part 1. What do you think? And next part, we are going into the law itself. Thank you very much.